Hey guys, how you doing? If you're currently looking for a new smartphone for around 300 euros, you now have a huge number of options. Almost every device advertises AMOLED, 120Hz and a large battery. In everyday use, however, the difference can be much bigger than the spec sheet suggests. That is why I'm showing you 5 models that I have personally tested and explaining which type of user I would recommend each phone to. All 5 smartphones are currently available for around 300 euros or less. Prices can change depending on the color, storage options, and retailer. For the Samsung Galaxy A57, I'm referring to the version with 128 gigs of storage, which is already available for just under 300 euros. You can find all the links to the 5 smartphones down in the video description. And let's get started. In 5th place is the Moto G77. It does not have one single feature that completely beats the competition, but it also does very little wrong in everyday use. I especially like the design. My shaded Sprouse version has a soft matte back that feels secure in the hand, hardly collects fingerprints, and looks more premium than you might expect for around 285 euros. At 7.33mm and 182 grams, the Moto G77 is also pleasantly slim and light. You also get Gorilla 7i, IP64 and military standard certification. The 6.78-inch AMOLED display offers a 1.5K resolution, a 120Hz refresh rate and high brightness. Content looks sharp and colors appear vibrant. The stereo speakers are fine for videos and podcasts, although they lack some bass. For me, the biggest reason to buy the Moto G77 is the software. Android 16 looks clean, organized and close to Google's standard Android experience. Motorola only adds useful extras including gestures for quickly activating the flashlight or opening the camera. You also get 256 gigs of storage, microSD expansion and even eSIM support. If you dislike advertising or duplicate apps, this gives Motorola an advantage over Redmi and Poco. The Dimensity 6400 is sufficient for WhatsApp, YouTube, social media, navigation and regular multitasking. Games such as Call of Duty Mobile and PUBG also run reasonably well. However, this is not the best option for demanding games. The 108-megapixel main camera produces usable data and photos, but detail and dynamic range drop noticeably in low light. The 5200 mAh battery reliably lasts through a long day, although the 30-watt charging speed is slow compared with the competition. I would therefore recommend the Moto G77 to anyone looking for a light smartphone with a stylish design and clean software. It is a solid all-rounder, but it does not have the strongest unique selling point in this ranking. In 4th place is the Redmi Note 15 5G. This model is especially interesting because it costs noticeably less than many others in this comparison. If you do not want to spend the full 300 euros, you still get 5G, an AMOLED display and 120Hz. The Redmi has a large 6.77-inch screen, but at 7.35mm and 178 grams, it is surprisingly light and slim. My Glacier Blue version looks modern, although the back is slightly prone to scratches. Fortunately, a case is included. The IP65 rating protects the phone against dust and splashes. The AMOLED display is the clear highlight. Now, the Full HD Plus resolution is sharp enough, 120Hz makes scrolling feel smooth, and up to 3200 nits provides good outdoor visibility. The stereo speaker can get very loud, but there is very little bass. The Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 feels smooth in everyday use. Social media, streaming, messaging, and multitasking are not a problem. Casual gaming also works well as long as you reduce the graphics settings in more demanding titles. The 5520 mAh battery also delivers good endurance. The Redmi easily lasts through a normal day, and moderate users may get 2 days from a charge. Charging reaches 45 watts, although a power adapter is not included. The biggest compromises concern the camera and software. The 108-megapixel main camera takes decent photos in good lighting, but image quality drops quickly in darker scenes or when subjects are moving. HyperOS offers a lot of functions, but it also includes pre-installed games, shopping apps, and recommendations. You should expect to spend some time cleaning up the software after the initial setup. Even so, the Redmi Note 15 5G is the clear budget recommendation. You get a bright display, 5G, expandable storage, good battery life, and enough performance for everyday use without needing to spend the full 300 euros. In 3rd place is the Honor Magic 8 Lite. This smartphone stands out because of its huge battery and strong durability. If you are often away from a charger and do not want to recharge every evening, this is probably the best option in this comparison. Inside is a massive 7500 mAh battery. In my everyday use, it easily lasts 2 full days, even with intensive usage. With more moderate use, around 2.5 days may be possible. Charging reaches up to 66 watts, which is respectable for a battery this large. Despite the high capacity, the Magic 8 Lite is only 7.76mm thick and weighs around 189 grams. The frame and back are made of plastic, but the matte surface feels secure and hardly collects fingerprints. Durability is another strength. Honor combines reinforced glass with IP66, 68, 69 and 69K protection. This makes the phone better protected than many competitors in the same price range. The 6.79-inch AMOLED display is also a highlight. Its 2640 by 1200 resolution produces a sharp image, 120Hz keeps movement smooth, and the high brightness makes the screen easy to view outdoors. The 3840Hz PWM dimming can also be useful for people who are sensitive to OLED flicker. The Snapdragon 6 Gen 4 provides reliable performance, apps open quickly, and casual games run well. However, the Honor is not designed for demanding game at high graphic settings. The 108-megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization produces sharp and fairly natural looking photos in daylight. In low light, noise increase and fine detail drops. The 5-megapixel ultra-wide camera is also considerably weaker than the main sensor. macOS offers plenty of features including AI tools, Gemini, Circle to Search, dual SIM and eSIM support. However, the interface does not feel quite as clean or straightforward as Motorola's or Samsung software. If your priorities are a huge battery, a large screen, and strong durability, the Honor Magic 8 Lite offers an unusual, convincing overall package. For travel or long working days, it will be my first choice. In second place is the Poco M8 Pro. This is the specifications champion of the group. Poco puts a lot of hardware into an affordable phone, especially when it comes to the screen, battery, and charging. The 6.83-inch Crystal Res AMOLED display offers 1.5K resolution, 120Hz, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and Gorilla Glass Victus 2. The image is sharp and colorful, while around 1800 nits keep the screen readable outdoors. For Netflix, YouTube, and gaming, it is probably the best display here. The symmetrical stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos also sound surprisingly full and loud. The Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 handles everyday tasks smoothly, while games run better than on the Motorola, Redmi, and Honor. It is not a flagship chipset, so maximum graphics settings are not always realistic. Within this selection, however, the Poco is the best gaming recommendation. It also stays relatively cool during longer gaming sessions. The 6400 mAh battery provides around 1.5 or 2 days of use depending on your habits. Even more impressive is the 100-watt charging. Despite of the large battery, the Poco can be fully charged in under an hour. Other features include IP68, NFC, dual SIM, and infrared blaster, and either 256 or 512 gigs of storage. There is no microSD slot though. The plastic body feels sturdy, but at 206 grams, the Poco is the heaviest device in this comparison. The 50-megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization takes sharp daylight photos with natural colors and good dynamic range. Stabilization also helps at night, although the ultra-wide camera is noticeably weaker. The biggest disadvantage is the HyperOS. The system is fast and feature-rich, but once again includes pre-installed apps and some advertising. If you're willing to clean up the software after setting up the phone, the Poco M8 Pro probably gives you the most hardware for your money. For gamers, heavy users, and streaming fans, it is the strongest choice in this top 5. In first place is the Samsung Galaxy A57. The version with 128 gigs of storage is now available for just under 300 euros, so it fits into this ranking. Make sure you check the storage version before ordering because the model with 256 gigs is still considerably more expensive. The Samsung does not win every category. Honor provides better battery life, Poco offers more performance, and Redmi costs less. Even so, the A57 is the most balanced smartphone here and therefore the best recommendation for most users. It also stands out with its build quality. The A57 is only 6.9mm thick, weighs 179 grams, and combines Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the front and on the back with an aluminum frame. As a result, it feels more premium than the plastic competitors. It also has IP68 protection. My awesome icy blue version looks elegant, although the glass back does collect fingerprints. The 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus display offers 120Hz, good brightness, vibrant colors, and strong contrast. Poco and Honor may reach higher figures in some areas, but the Samsung display is excellent in normal use. The stereo speakers also sound nicely balanced. One of the biggest balances though is the One UI 6.5 based on Android 16. The software feels mature, includes useful features, and Samsung promises up to 6 major Android updates. If you want to keep your phone for several years, that's a major benefit. The Exynos 1680 provides good everyday performance, apps, multitasking, and normal games run without problems. For maximum gaming performance, however, I would still choose the Poco. The 5000 mAh battery reliably gets through a full day, but is not the best in its class. 45-watt charging also looks slow next to the Poco, and wireless charging is not supported. In return, the A57 offers the most versatile camera system. The 50 megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization takes sharp, balanced photos in daylight. The main, ultra-wide, and front cameras can all record video in 4K at 30 frames per second. There is no telephoto lens, but the Samsung is still the safest camera recommendation among these 5 phones. The Galaxy A57 is not the pure specification winner, but it has the fewest important weaknesses: premium construction, a strong display, reliable cameras, polished software, and long update support. If you want a balanced smartphone that you can use for several years, the 128GB version offers the best overall package in the selection for just under 300 euros. Now, if you want to spend as little as possible, the Redmi Note 15 5G is the clear budget choice. The Moto G77 is especially suitable for fans of clean Android. The Honor Magic 8 Lite offers the best battery life and excellent durability. The Poco M8 Pro is my recommendation for gaming, multimedia, and fast charging. And for me, the Samsung Galaxy A57 provides the best overall package. None of these smartphones is the best in every category. The right choice therefore depends on which strength matters most to you. Let me know in the comments which model would take first place in your ranking. You can find all the links down in the video description. If this video helped you out, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I guess that one being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.